The DP World Tour touches down in Spain this week. Another iconic venue in Valderrama for the Estrella Damm Andalucia Masters. We've got loads coming your way in this show. Jamie Spence and Incy Mehmet are alongside me in the studio, and we've got a very special guest coming in. Reigning US Open champion, the man defending this beautiful trophy this week, Matt Fitzpatrick, will be live in the studio. Loads more great content as well, so let's get stuck in. Welcome to the Zoom Virtual Clubhouse. Welcome to Valderrama and the Estrella Damm Andalucia Masters. We've got the range as a beautiful backdrop behind us. Delighted to say, as ever, Jamie Spence and Incy Mehmet join me in the studio as well. Of course, Matt Fitzpatrick popping in. Got a great show coming your way. Ewan Ferguson and Guido Migliozzi will be testing their Ryder Cup knowledge in a fun little quiz. Jamie's out on the course as well, checking out some of the holes. And of course, we want you at home to get involved. Incy, you're over there looking after all of that. We've got a great competition. How can the viewers at home get involved today?
Absolutely. One of these wonderful things with the Zoom Virtual is that you get to get involved with the poll and also have an opportunity to win a prize. And the question this time round is, who will shoot lower this week? You've got a 50-50% chance. Will it be Matt Fitzpatrick or his brother, Alex Fitzpatrick? The prize is a signed flag by Matt Fitzpatrick, of course, the US Open champ. So please do get involved. And of course, you can get involved further using the chat function. So fire in your questions. We're going to have Matt shortly joining us.
Great stuff. Matt is on his way. So fire those questions in. But before he joins us, he's the defending champion here. And of course, US Open champion as well. Let's take a look at how he secured that maiden major victory.
It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. I didn't really know, obviously you don't know how it's going to feel, but when unfortunately, Will missed on the 18th there, it's just hard to describe.
So close. It's a dream come true for magnificent Matthew. The US Open title, Fitzpatrick.
Felt like it was always meant to be. I feel like I've had so many close shaves this year. I played so well so many times and just come up shy. Billy was like, just stick in, your time will come. And last week, same deal. I played really well. Nothing happened, and he said, just wait. It's going to happen. And for it to happen here, it just felt right.
Billy struggling to contain his emotions over your shoulder. How much of a part did he play in this victory for you?
Massive, massive. He was so calm the whole day, and I know how much it means to him. I know it means even more to him probably than me, given he's been around so long. I know he said to yourself he had a big monkey on his back, and I know he did. I know it was eating away at him, and to get it done for myself, but for him as well is great.
And here he is, US Open champion, defending champion this week. Matt, thank you so much for joining us in the Zoom Virtual Clubhouse. Great memories there. What's it like to watch that back?
Special. Yeah, I actually really enjoy obviously watching it again. It's reliving it as much as possible. I'd pay a lot of money to live the day again.
How many times have you watched it? I'd have it on YouTube and everything all the time.
Yeah, I've watched it a fair few times, I'll be honest. Seen the bunk shot plenty and sort of everything else that's come with it. A lot. It's nice.
How does it feel to get back on the DP World Tour and back in the UK and get announced on the tee as a major champion?
Yeah, that's actually one of the best bits. every DP World Tour tournament that you get announced as that, it's just never ever sinks in. It's a great feeling before you tee off.
We saw the lovely scenes on the 18th green afterwards as well. All of your family, your mum, your dad, your brother Alex, who's in the field this week as well, running on. What's it like to share those moments with your nearest and dearest?
Yeah, it's the best. That's what makes it so special. If I'd have been there on my own, it'd have been great, but it just wouldn't have had the quite the same effect. It's to have them there and win a major is so incredibly lucky. A lot of guys aren't that lucky to have the family members there. So for me to have that week was truly incredible.
Let's go back to the 18th hole of that bunker. It's got to be the greatest shot you ever hit.
Oh, easily.
How far was it? What club did you hit? What were you thinking at the time?
It was 150 front, 156 to the flag, 9 iron.
Flat out 9-9?
Just a normal 9-9, just normal 9-9.
And the lie?
And the lie was good, actually. The lie was good. If I'd have gone dead straight, it would have gone 4 yards in from the left edge of the green. And I hit it came out and it started cutting towards the flag, and I just couldn't believe it.
Did you see it straight away though? When you got up to the bunker, you see the lie. Did you see the shot straight away?
I saw a shot. I saw that if I just hit it straight and if I hit a natural fade that I do, that it would be it'd be fine. I just needed to get a good strike on it, and fortunately.
And Billy played his part as well, didn't he? On that?
He did, yeah. It's something I've never seen him do in the 4 years we worked together, and I don't think he said he's never done it in 40 years of working together. So. He sort of plumb bobbed the line with his club, which was very odd, but I guess it worked. Yeah.
And what is that dynamic like? Because you said you've been working together for 4 years. He's obviously extremely experienced as well. When you are in a situation where you might have options, I guess as a player you probably have the final call. But what does happen when you both kind of disagree on something?
Yeah, listen, it is kind of rare. He'll tend to. Unless he's absolutely adamant, he'll tend to kind of give in to me, but also I want to make sure I take the ownership of the decision. I think that's really important in a player-caddy relationship, just because you can't go with the caddy and then blame them for for the wrong club. I think that's not great, and it's not very fair. So that's something that I've kind of tried to be better at, and particularly since Billy's been on board, I'm kind of too scared to shout him anyway. So
Well, he's so sweet. I can't believe it. That's scary. We've got a poll going at the moment. I hate to ask you this question, but the poll question is, who's going to finish lower by the end of the week between you and your brother? Surely you've got to back yourself.
There's got to be a better poll question than that. It's me. It's me. I got to say me, given my history here.
Well, Alex has had a good start to his pro career, right?
He has, yeah. I'm really proud of him. Yeah, really proud of him. He missed his first cut in Ireland, then he went to play PGA Tour Canada for 4 or 5 weeks and struggled. The scores were really, really low, and just never really got going. Didn't really like being out there, and I'll be honest, I was a little bit apprehensive about him coming back to Europe. It's kind of obviously deeper fields, and he's come back here and played fantastic. So, I'm really, really pleased for him.
You got to play with him at the Dunhill Links and with your mum as well, of course. How much sibling rivalry is there? Because you're obviously very close, but you've got to want to beat him all the time.
Yeah, of course I do. My dad made me feel very, very bad, actually, yesterday, and I didn't even think about it. I birdied the last at Dunhill to beat him by 1 shot. And then my dad said, what if that place differential is enough for him to miss his card? And I was thinking to myself, God, I feel awful now. I feel absolutely terrible. Yeah, exactly. So, but for me right now, I want him to get place on DP World Tour, Challenge Tour. I just want him to have somewhere to play. I want him to cement himself out here and be out here for a long time. So, for me, that's more important. And then once he's cemented himself, then I can start really giving him abuse.
You're defending, of course, this week at Valderrama. How special is it to come back to a place like this? It's iconic in European golf anyway.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a fantastic golf course. Played 18 holes now here, and just every hole has something about it. And for me, I think it's a great test on so many aspects of the game, and that's why I really enjoy coming here.
You're always making notes in your book. We always see that. You've done it. Seem to have done it all your career.
Mm-hmm.
Will you bring that book from last year here and have a look at it and refer to it or not?
Yeah, I mean, I've got so many books now that
You must have thousands.
I've got boxes and boxes. So I've actually started taking pictures of them all and putting them in the cloud. So now from wherever I am in the world, I can just go on that. So I've got that online, and I'll have a look through it tonight to see if there's anything I wrote that kind of stood out from last year and make any notes on that. But on the whole, looking at it so far, there doesn't seem to be much change. So.
Let's see if we've got any questions coming in from the viewers at home.
Absolutely, got a bunch of questions. I quite like this one. Let's start off with Miles Fletcher. What hole at Valderrama makes you think the most?
That is a good question, actually.
All of them.
I mean, that is true. That is true. It's every single hole really does make you think. But I'd probably have to say.
Such a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question. I mean, a lot of them you're hitting driver because it's so tight. There's no other option. But I would probably say, 8 is kind of a seven wood for me and a sand wedge. But you can play it so many different ways. You could hit 4-iron, 9-iron. You could hit driver up there. I know a few guys did that last year and try and make the birdie easier. And if you're in the trees, you're chipping out, whatever. So I'd probably say 8 has a lot of options and probably make you think.
And how would you sum up the golf course? I said quirky earlier, but how would you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a good way of putting it. I think my only thing with quirky is normally that means it's a bit unfair, but I don't think it's very unfair aside from the tree in the middle of the second fairway. I think for me it's just an all-round test, in my opinion. You can drive it really, really well, and then you've got to hit small greens. So then that's a test on the approach play, and then you miss those small greens, and you've got to test on the short game because there's so many slopes, and then you get on the greens, and they're really slopey and fast. And to me, I just think there's a real, there's so many different shots out there, and I think as well as testing your game, it really tests your patience.
Okay. We're going to see the flag in when you putt this week?
Yeah, I think so. I did that last year. So
yeah, why did you do it? You're one of the few that does that.
Yeah, I mean, I started putting poorly probably middle of 2019. So the rule came out in 19, and we just said, well, we'll just give it a try. Gave it a try, started putting there, and that's it. Yeah. So we left it as. Yeah, there's nothing really scientific about it, unfortunately.
Second in the DP World Tour rankings right now. How badly do you want to finish on top of that list at the end of the season?
Yeah, for me, it's always been a goal. The way I look at it is, you achieve that goal from playing well the whole season. Playing well at events. It's not something that I really look at, to be honest, until you basically get to Dubai. It so just happens this year that kind of me and Rory are kind of up there, sort of ahead of Mo. So this is a chance for me to kind of make up some ground this week, and then unfortunately we both played very well around Dubai before, so that will be if it all came down to that, then that'd be exciting. So if I can just have a good week this week, give myself a chance going into Dubai, and we'll see.
Looking a little further ahead, Ryder Cup at Marco Simone in just under a year's time. Your 2 appearances so far, both been on American soil. How much do you want to represent Team Europe on European soil? Yeah,
definitely. It's from what I've been told, it's a very different atmosphere. It'd be nice to actually have some fans. We didn't have any fans apart from family at the last one. And it certainly didn't feel like I had any fans at when we played the one before in 2016. So, I think having played there a couple of times now, that the golf course is built for the Ryder Cup, and I'm sure the atmosphere will be fantastic with the Italian fans. I'd love to be part of that team and hopefully win the Ryder Cup back.
What about that golf course? Course you play well.
Yeah.
What about that?
I like the golf course. There is some funky holes. There's no doubt about that. I think obviously they're looking to make some changes to make it a little bit more advantageous to the Europeans, as they do every year on both sides. I think that's probably that's definitely gonna help us, and it's nice that for myself, I played well there this year. Rory played well the same. Obviously, Bob McIntyre's coming through and won. So I think hopefully the course is going to suit us.
Brilliant. Matt, thank you so much for popping in. It's been a pleasure to have you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Defending this title this week. Now let's have a look at how Matt Fitzpatrick got his hands on the trophy last year.
The win round Valderrama is something you want to tick off on the bucket list. Been here enough, Billy's been here more than enough, and to know that there isn't a breather hole out here.
How soft did he get that to come down? What a shot. My goodness.
Valderrama was a real test today. To do it in the way that I did with no bogeys in the final round was extra special. Hang around and maybe pick a couple of birdies up if possible. And then we got to 16 and it was just it was just dead straight.
He has been patience personified.
The most important thing around here is just patience.
He's had some big putts in his life. And this is definitely right up there with him. And victory at Valderrama.
There we go.
So Matt will be wanting to do exactly what he did 12 months ago and win the title again this week at Valderrama. But there is a great field assembled who will all be hoping to do exactly the same. Jamie, who stands out for you in this lineup?
Well, there's lots of great players at the moment. Ryan Fox has had quite an amazing year, really. I've walked around with him quite a lot at the Dunhill the other week, where he got his second win. He could have had 5 wins this year. He really could have done, because he should have won in Belgium. I was with him there as well, and then Holland. I think he threw that one away. But he really is. He just rips it and gets after it. There we can see his season here. Runner-up in the Irish Open. He was never going to win that. Moronk sort of went away from the field. But what a year he's had, Foxy. I don't know whether this golf course will suit him. He played quite well here last year, as it happens, because I think it restricts his length. But he's not just about hitting the ball a mile. He's got a lot of touch around the green as well, which he's developed over the last couple of years. So he's my main focus, although there's plenty of other young talent out there as well.
Incy, who are you taking a close look at this week?
Well, like Spencer said, I think we've got a bunch of great players. I think Bob Mack is probably someone to look out for after winning at Marco Simone. He finished 8th and then 20th at the Alfred Dunhill. And he's someone who's recently got into Decade Golf, which is all about strategy and course management. And I think that's absolutely crucial around the golf course like this. However, if I was to pick a player, I quite fancy my chances for Minwoo Lee. I think he's gained a lot of confidence from last week's performance, taking on world number 6, Jon Rahm, of course. And he finished second here last year as well. So he's a man that plays with a lot of finesse, and he quite enjoys showing off, and also another kind of trait I think you need around here too.
The names you've chucked out there, but the course is a very different test to what the players generally face week in, week out. Jamie, what are they going to need to do well to score well around
Well, you
here?
need something in your bag that I never had around here, and that's patience. You have to take the rough with the smooth, because as Matt said there, the 8th hole, which is it's a 3-iron and a little chip for these guys, but to hit the fairway, because the camber goes against you, and it does that a lot of these holes. Getting the ball in the right spot on the fairway is vital, because you can hit the fairway but be behind one of the cork trees. So it's a really tricky course to play. You're thinking of someone who hits the ball straight, hits a lot of greens in regulation. That's what we're after, really. But I've got to fancy Fitzpatrick here. Sorry, I can't get away from him. Thinks well, puts well, hits the ball straight. What more do you want, really? I think Jordan Smith, the Englishman as well, had a pretty good season. He's another guy who hits the ball straight, hits a lot of greens, needs to putt better though.
Yeah, putting is going to be important, because you're going to find yourself out of position. So a lot of emphasis on the short game here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're good tee to green, you won't necessarily leave yourself with an easy putt as well. There's plenty of undulation around here. But like Jamie was describing, like the first hole, for instance, it isn't bread and butter, is it? Although it might be short in terms of yardages, you've got that big overhanging tree in that short right corner. It's a tight waistline right in the middle of the green. It's so tricky, I think, is the best way to describe it. The par 5s aren't necessarily all gettable. 4's a beautiful par 5.
Yep.
17 asks a lot of questions. It's just not simple. I'd imagine by the time you finish 18 holes here, you probably feel absolutely mentally drained and exhausted.
Straight jacket.
Absolutely.
I was in a straight jacket when I finished playing around here, but yeah, it's demanding. you can be on the fairway and you have to hit a 20-yard cut or a 20-yard draw to get onto the green. But you know that on the tee, it just asks you questions on every single hole, this course.
Ryder Cup, obviously, forefront of our mind. It was here 25 years ago.
Wow.
It's just under a year. I know, that makes you feel old.
I was going to ask Matt, did he remember watching it? But then I thought, well, of course not. You'd only be 3.
Just under a year until the next one. And a bit of a transitionary period, I think it's fair to say, for the European team right now. And we're looking at some players starting to come through. You've mentioned Bob McIntyre, Guido Migliozzi as well. How important is it now that some of these young guns of the European Tour, the DP World Tour, the Europeans, step up and force their way onto the team start?
You want to get off to a good start. There's only 3 off the world ranking, 3 off the European ranking, 6 picks. You've got to catch Captain Donald's eye. And the Højgaards have done that over the last few years. I'd love to see Bob McIntyre get in there. But it's early days. You know, the players that are playing really well now is one thing. It's are you playing well next summer that will really count. Guido Migliozzi, so much pressure on a young Italian to make the team. I've got a sneak that Francesco Molinari might find a bit of form and put his hand up, because if I'm the captain, that's the sort of person I want with that experience going to the tee. It's a tough thing going to that first tee at a Ryder Cup, wherever you are. So, yeah, lots of questions to be answered, but there's so much talent out here now on the European Tour for sure. Yeah, very exciting times. Guido Migliozzi, of course, will be hoping to compete and make his Ryder Cup debut on home soil. Ewan Ferguson, a 2-time winner this year, he has hopes of making Luke Donald's team as well. We put their Ryder Cup knowledge to the test, though, with this fun little quiz. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by 2 of the young guns on the DP World Tour, Ewan Ferguson, Guido Migliozzi, 2 men hoping to be in the Ryder Cup team in just under a year's time. We're going to have a bit of a fun with a Ryder Cup quiz. Of course, 25 years since the Ryder Cup was held right here at Valderrama. So guys, are you up for a bit of a quiz on the Ryder Cup?
Can't wait for it. Can't wait. Have a good game. Good game. Have a good game.
Yeah, play well.
Got a Callaway number 2.
Guido, you're up first. Which player scored the most points at a single Ryder Cup for Team Europe in 2018?
Francesco.
Straight in.
Easy.
Easy.
We got
First 2
Francesco.
points on the board. Ewan?
2 points for getting one right.
Well, some questions have got 2 answers, so it's if you only get one of them. We're being generous. No
But you give him 2 points there.
Yeah, you've got the same. Don't worry.
Alright,
2 points, so it's all fair.
Come on, give me some advantage. Some advantage, please.
Of all the Scottish players to have played in Ryder Cup history, who has scored the most points in total?
Monty.
Straight in. These boys are good.
2 points?
Yeah, 2
For you as
points
well?
each,
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good one.
As well, I'm happy.
Guido, back to you. You've already mentioned one of them, in Francesco Molinari. Who are the other 2 Italian players to have played in the Ryder Cup?
His brother, Edoardo, and Costantino. Costantino here as well in 97.
Oh, that's a 5-pointer.
So 3 points for
I might give you a bonus point for extra
I'll tell you what. Fair play.
Well,
I was studying earlier.
That's impressive. I'm glad you've both done a bit of research. I'm impressed.
yeah, come on. The Ryder Cup here was in 97. I mean, I'm 97, you're 96.
Yeah.
So
Good memories from a baby. Ewan, which 2 rookies have carded the most points at a single Ryder Cup for Team Europe? I'll give you 2 names.
Thomas Peters
Yep.
and John Ram.
It's good, but it's not right. It was Tommy Fleetwood in 2018, the other one.
Oh.
4 points, of course. So,
Close.
under
A
advantage.
good one.
1
A good
point
one.
advantage.
That was a tough one, wasn't
that
it?
was a tough one.
I got one of them. Is that still 2 points? Got 1 point.
That's 1 point.
Oh, fair
You're
enough.
3 out of 4.
Fair enough.
So you're not doubting the 2 points for this one now, are you? Guido, who is the most successful pairing in European Ryder Cup history?
I would say Olazábal and Severiano.
He's spot on again.
Is it correct?
That's correct. Another 2 points.
That's a good
Hey,
one.
well, you're brighter than you look.
Thank you.
Yeah. Which pairing has had the most success at a single Ryder Cup?
You know, the famous pairing.
Do you know who that is?
And there's a song as well. Is it correct?
Yeah. Oh, wait, I do know. Molinari and Fleetwood.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Spot on.
Could do the song
Correct.
on the board. Tell me.
That's a good assist.
So still 1 point ahead, Guido. How many different countries have represented Europe at the Ryder Cup? And I'll give you one country either way. You don't have to name them all, but the number.
The number of country.
Total countries that have been represented by players at the Ryder Cup in Europe.
18.
It's a pretty good guess. It's 14.
I'm not being funny, but that was a brutal one.
Oh, it gets tougher.
Well, I don't know why I said 18 because 18 holes. I don't know. Maybe.
Not too far.
Okay. 14. Oh, that's good.
Okay. Continuing from that, who was the most recent country to join that list as a new nation represented in the Ryder Cup?
Oh, Norway. Victor Hovland.
Spot on.
Victor Hovland as well. I can name the years and stuff, so that's points.
Yeah, correct.
Have you just taken the lead now? Are you now what?
I think I've just.
That was difficult. I mean, not that difficult, but yeah, I mean, you had to.
Kind of, when you know it feels easy, but actually,
it's not.
Again, because it's similar years, 96, 97.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so last few questions now. We're going to bring it specific to the Ryder Cup that was here at Valderrama 25 years ago.
Okay.
Guido, who beat Tiger Woods 4-2 in the Sunday singles?
Constantino. There is a magical picture here inside of
that's cool.
Constantino lighting a cigarette, beating Tiger Woods.
How good's that?
Didn't even need to finish the question. He knew
so
it.
Cool, so cool.
Now, final question. So you're 1 point behind. You get this right, and you take the win. Who captained Team USA at the 1997 Ryder Cup?
Oh my God.
Well, I know that.
Do you know it?
I know that. I told you I studied before.
Oh, you did study before. Did study before. Let's see. I don't know. I'm going to take away and say Hal Sutton.
It's not correct. You said you know. Do you want to tell him?
Tom Kite.
Spot on. Guido.
Thank you.
You are the winner by a single point. You and Guido.
God. He didn't study, and that doesn't. That's not.
Do you know what? You were both very impressive.
That was cool. Good fun.
Thank you for being such good sports, guys. Brilliant stuff.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's head back to the studio. Some seriously impressive knowledge from the guys there. And Ewan and Guido will both be hoping to be at Marco Simone in just under a year's time.
The Eternal City. Ancient. Iconic. Epic. Where the foundations of an empire inspired noble leaders who prize courage and respect above all. Great theatres have heralded the bravery of men, triumph and tragedy celebrated on this enduring stage. Before the arches of victory, legions of warriors have fought for honor. Brothers united as one. From these historic ruins, heroes will rise through acts of defiance, confronting their destiny. For allied rivals, all roads lead to Rome and eternal glory.
That really gets the juices flowing for next year's Ryder Cup. But first of all, there's some serious business right here to be taken care of out Valderrama this week. And Jamie and I popped out to the range to chat to some of the players. Come down onto the range with Jamie, one of the most picturesque ranges on the DP World Tour here at Valderrama. Jamie, let's have a little bit of a wander, see who we can find, have a quick chat. Right, first off, we've got Soren Kjeldsen here. Soren, great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Valderrama, winner here in 2008, so lots of pleasant memories. What's it like to come back to a course that you've won at before?
Yeah, I love this place. I mean, this is probably, apart from Denmark, that's probably my favorite stop of the year. I came here in April with my two boys as well. They'd never played here, so I took them here for a little treat, and I know all the staff and I just love it.
Now this place used to drive me mad as a player. As you can imagine, you know me.
Most places did.
Most places did. You've got the lowest stroke average round here of anybody. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Well, you do now. How do you do it round here? What's the secret?
I don't know. I mean, I think I like to play in the wind. It generally gets windy here in the afternoon. Number two, I mean, I'm generally pretty good at putting it in play. Obviously, don't bomb it off the tee, but I put it in play. So a lot of the time on this course, most guys will play from the same spot after the tee shot because there's only like one spot you can hit it to. So that's an advantage for me because normally I'm 30, 40 yards behind when we start on the fairway.
And how's the game? Anything new in the bag? Any new little toys that you're using, or is it just the same old?
Same old, really. But I think obviously Wentworth was a great week for me. My game is definitely better than it has been most of the year. So I'm just coming off a week off. So can't wait.
It's all good.
Yes.
Keep that stroke average low. All the best this week, Soren.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for your time.
Cheers.
Well, we'll have a little walk along here. You referenced it there, Jamie. It is a tricky course. What makes it different to most courses that we see week in, week out on tour?
Well, you can't just get up with the driver and just smash it round here. You have to place the ball, as Soren said. Quite interesting. He said we all play from the same place, and on many of the holes you do, you can't cut the corners, you can't blast it over the corners and hit those big booming drives. So you've really got to use your brain, and the greens, man, they're fantastic, but they're so fast. You get above the hole, it's really, really quick. I think we should go and talk to a Spanish player, don't you?
Absolutely, mecca for Spanish golf.
I think so. Nacho Alvera, maybe. Let's go and have a chat with him. Nice, colourful shirt.
Hey,
Nacho, good to see you.
hello, how you guys
How you
doing?
doing?
Doing good.
Joining us.
Hello.
How's the game?
Good. Can't complain.
We're at Valderrama. What does this place mean for the Spanish players?
I think this is the mecca. I think for Spanish players. Obviously, ever since Seve won the Ryder Cup in '97, well, Europe, but Seve won the Ryder Cup in '97. I think it's becoming more and more obvious that this is like the place all the Spanish players want to play.
What do you remember from that Ryder Cup? Did you watch it live, or is it things you've watched since?
Not much. I was very, very young. I was only 10 years old, and I haven't been playing golf for much. But I mean, obviously, I've seen it on TV. I've seen it on YouTube many times, and I mean, great memories. The passion that Seve had for that Ryder Cup being in Spain is unbelievable. I think he passed it on to the Spanish players.
Talking of Spanish legends, John Rahm, brilliant victory last week. Does that inspire you? Does that give you the juices to do it yourself this week?
No, of course. I mean, what he's doing and supporting, especially supporting Spanish golf and coming to play Spanish Open, he's helping us a lot. And he's obviously, like you said, he's been around for 6-7 years, and you're already calling him a legend. So, I mean, he's a fantastic player, great mentor for the next generation, and hopefully many young kids pick up on golf because of him.
How's the coach? Jose Rivero, two-time Ryder Cup, but how's he doing? He's a bit quiet, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quiet. He's been quiet his entire life. I mean, he's a great guy, great mentor. I mean, he's been around Valderrama a lot, so he knows how to play it and give us a lot of tips around it. And, he's hanging in there with me. Hopefully, I don't kill him too soon.
Good luck. Good luck this week.
Thank you very much.
Have a great week. Thank you for your time. Right, a little wonder, who can we see?
Wow, wow. There is the great man, by the way. There is the great man, Jose Rivero, two-time Ryder Cup playing legend for the game back in the 80s and 90s. Got to bring him in.
Absolutely well worth a shout. Right next to Nacho, got Tristan Lawrence, two-time winner already this year. Tristan, pleasure to see you. Thanks for your time.
No worries.
Mentioned there, 2 wins this year. How does that compare to what your expectations were coming into the season?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Obviously, getting that first DP win was incredible. Didn't have a status before then, so that's just a lot of weight off your shoulders, and you have a winner's guarantee. You can just go up and play every event, and then getting the win and crown was incredible. But yeah, it's been an unbelievable season so far, and looking forward to the final.
Now you got Dom Griffith with you. What a great player he is as well. That big man, play with him. Look at him. What a great man he is. Now, what are you working on? You're obviously working on a few things with your drive.
So new model came out. 5 woods already straight into the bag, but that good. Gaining a few yards. Getting the driver going now. But yeah, I mean, what an awesome team we have here of being new. Like I said, new model looks amazing. So yeah.
What sort of shape you're trying to hit with the driver or the 5 wood?
I'm quite a field player, so on a golf course like this, it's probably going to tend to, for me, hitting it a little left to right. Getting it in play. But for myself, I'm just. Whatever the hole gives me, I try to hit that shape.
Quite a unique test, Valderrama, in comparison to most weeks on tour. Do you have to alter the equipment or the type of shots you're looking to play?
I haven't played it, so today is going to be my first time. But I've heard it's a golf course you can only sort of play one way. You need to sort of play chess and plot yourself a way around this golf course. So I'll see in a few minutes what's the test like.
Good luck on that fact-finding mission. Best of luck this week, Tristan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
So that's a little look at things down here on the range at Valderrama on Tuesday morning. Looking ahead to a really exciting week, so let's get back into the studio. Great practice facilities here. The course always presented in magnificent condition as well, Jamie. How important is that for the players?
It's quite incredible here. Not a piece of grass out of place. When you come up the hill to the clubhouse, there's a little courtyard with some mini cork trees. And I had to have a second look because I thought it was AstroTurf, but it's not. It's absolutely perfect. And it just sets you up for the day. I think you look at that and think, I'm going to have a good day here today, because if that's good, how good are the greens going to be and how good are the fairways going to be? And it's all absolutely first class. Yeah.
So much goes on behind the scenes, and I caught up with the general manager to find out what it takes to present a course like this and what makes Valderrama so special. I'm with Real Club de Valderrama General Manager Javier Rivarega. Javier, thank you so much for having us this week. It's a truly special place. What does Valderrama mean to golf in Spain?
Well, I think it means a lot. You know, we've been hosting major tournaments for over 30 years. I think it's become a reference in Spanish golf, not only because of the Ryder Cup, but because of all the events we have hosted. And, you know, we continue to move on that legacy. We try to get better every year. And I think that's what makes us a bit different to compare ourselves to others.
You mentioned the Ryder Cup and legacy there, of course. 25 years ago that it was hosted right here. How has that seen golf progress in this region and Spain as a whole?
Well, I think the Ryder Cup was a major point of change for Spanish golf. It puts us in the map. I think it was important not only for Valderrama, it was important for the whole golf sector, important for the tourism sector. I think up to then, this area of the world was probably not a golf destination. And I think after the Ryder Cup, that all changed. And now Costa del Sol, or Andalucia, has become #1 European destination for golfers because of the weather and because of the great golf courses. So I think the relevance of the Ryder Cup was not only in the golf business, it was also economic for the area.
It's an iconic course. From a playing perspective, what makes it so special?
Well, I think Valderrama is a bit different to what you see on tour these days. You know, it's a very tight course. It's not that long, very small greens, very small targets to hit at. I always say it's like playing 36 par 3s because from the tee, it's not only hitting on the fairway, you have to place it. So I think strategy and the ability to move the ball, to shape the ball both ways, plays a big part. And I think that's what makes it special. You know, it's different to other golf courses where power is so important. I think you can get around Valderrama without being the longest hitter on the score.
What's new in terms of the course and its maintenance?
Well, the course has been under great renovation the last 5-6 years. We basically redid all the greens, all the surroundings of the greens. We shaped the new bunkers. We built new tee boxes, changed the irrigation system. We've just about, upgraded everything on the golf course. In terms of design, there hasn't been that many changes. I would say the most relevant one would be pruning and removal of some trees. We knew for a while the trees were getting a bit too high. They were in the way of some shots. So we've done quite a lot of pruning. I think the golf course now, especially from the tee, has become a lot more playable and a lot more fair.
How important is sustainability in the present and as we look to the future?
Sustainability has been in the Valderrama radar for 30 years. Even from the time of Jaime Patiño, we always thought of sustainability. Lately, we've pushed the buttons a little bit more. We know there's an issue with water coming forward in the future. So we did a huge investment in a lake, in an area of the golf course that was just perfect for it. Doesn't affect play, but it will allow us to bring in water from rain during the winter and use it in the summer for irrigation. So I think as golf courses, we have an obligation to look for alternatives to improve our standards of sustainability. And we have to be ahead of the critics, and show that we're willing to make sustainability a big part of our management.
A brilliant venue. Always a treat to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Jamie's been out onto the course to take a look at one of his favourite holes.
17th hole here at Valderrama, and what an iconic hole it is. 536 yards. First thing that strikes me is how narrow the tee is here. It's quite intimidating in amongst the cork trees. You've got to hit a good tee shot to get on here in 2. Not an easy one either. Out of bounds all the way down the right-hand side, guarded by those trees. 2 bunkers frame the hole down the fairway. They won't bother these guys. They'll be flying it over that, and they'll all be going for the green. And that's what this hole is all about, the second shot of Valderrama on 17. And what a shot it is into this 17th green. Some people will lay up. I don't blame them for doing that. But it's framed by the 2 bunkers at the back of the green, and you've got to carry that beautiful pond at the front here. It really is a dangerous shot into this green. However, back in 1994, a long time ago, even I was playing then, Miguel Angel Jimenez, the Spanish legend, from this point, holed his second shot 212 yards away, probably the shot of his life. Let's take a look at it. And what a shot it was by the legend that is Miguel Angel Jimenez. And this is the exact pin, actually, that he hit to Miguel back there in 1994, all that time ago. Same pin today. What a shot that was. Now, the problem here on 17 really is if you go long. Short's no good either. You want to go in the water, that's obvious. If you knock it back here, especially in those back bunkers, you've got a really, really difficult shot. And even from where that ball is there, that's a devilishly difficult chip with a very fast green in front of you, all downhill.
That 17th hole will definitely have its say in where the title goes this week. Now, a bit more predictions, I think. You've said who you think's going to win. Matt Fitzpatrick for Spencer. Incy, you went for Minwoo Lee. Score time. What score is it going to be for Minwoo Lee to lift that trophy?
I think that's a really difficult question to answer. It's always difficult to predict the future, funnily enough.
We need an answer, though.
I think based off 6 under won last year, I think you told me that 2 over won the year before that. I think we're going to go one better because early in the week we had a bit of rain. It softened up the golf course. It's not too breezy today. It's maybe 8 miles an hour or so, and I'm expecting similar conditions for the rest of the week. It's only going to firm up as well, and the greens are really slick. So I'm going to lock in 7.
Going 7, Jamie?
I'm a little bit more optimistic. I'm going to say 9 under. I think it's normally about the wind round here, and the weather forecast looks all right at the moment. So I think about 9 under. Someone might sneak into the 10s, but I'm going 9. So
there we go. I think you're about right. I'm going to go somewhere in the middle at 8 under. And I think Antoine Rosner and Adrian Ategi are the 2 to have a look out for. Haven't mentioned them so far in this show. Incy, little update on the poll. Of course, we won't know the result of it until after the tournament is finished. But how are people voting?
Yeah, I must admit it is quite Matt Fitzpatrick heavy on 73%, but Alex is holding on to 27. Like we said, we'll find out the results at the end of the week, and we will reach out to you with that signed flag from Matt.
Great stuff. If you haven't already, get your vote in to win the signed flag stick from Matt Fitzpatrick, the flag pin even. Thank you very much, Incy and Jamie, as ever. Matt as well, all of our guests, including Ewan and Guido. That's all we've got time for on the Zoom Virtual Clubhouse today. But 25 years ago, this place hosted the Ryder Cup, and we're all set for an incredible week here at the Estrella Damm Andalucia Masters. Bye for now from the Zoom Virtual Clubhouse.
Let me tell you a story you may already know. An amazing event 25 years ago. Spain was the host of golf's greatest show. Sangria, sun and sea, this was the place to go. The Ryder Cup spread its wings far and wide, a new destination for either side. Welcome to the Real Club Valderrama, a golfing amphitheatre for heroes and drama.
Oh, that may be the one he needed.
But who is the greatest? Who would shine through?
What putt from Barnabing?
Europe or America's red, white and blue? Europe's Captain Frantic, Seve leading the team, trying to end Tom Kite's American dream. USA looking strong, a new king on the throne. His name is Tiger, a rookie, a long way from home.
And Woods striking gold for the first time.
Europe can beat the odds as the bookies have known. The heart, the desire, the nerve we have shown.
It's at worst a half.
So step up, Ollie, time to shine. His approach to the 14th, pure and online.
Yeah, that will set Europe alight.
Birdie after birdie, the board's turning blue. Every single one cheered on by Seve, fans and his crew. To win this cup requires passion and pride, with the energy of your teammates by your side.
And it's victory at Valderrama for Seve Stars of southern Spain.
A lifelong destiny at golf's greatest show. This was our Seve's story 25 years ago.